Hi, welcome back to my channel. I'm Malama Halima Ahmed from Real Life Meritan African on Facebook. I'm coming back on here to discuss about the hook and bait, part three. This video is going to talk basically about men in the continent who lives here in America who already have visas, who already have entered the country, okay, legally, okay. Once they obtain a visa, they can come and stay here in this country up to 3 months, okay, with a visa. Some come as a student and get a student visa, and some are here on asylum, okay. Let's talk about the student visas. When a man or woman from the continent come here off of a student visa, they are allowed to go to school here and work here in this country or whatever country they have a visa to. Some people have a visa in Germany, Sweden, Netherlands, and they're able to go to school. But once they go back to school and they complete their education, they are supposed to go back home to their country where they live at. Some of them find wives in America, or they find women in Germany or whatever they are going to school at, and marry them. Okay, and then they're able to change um, their status in that country. So it is some men here are not only have one way to obtain their citizenship or 10-year green card of residence. They could be a student. They can be on asylum. And normally, when someone gets asylum, they are unable to go back to their country if they are granted asylum. I think sometimes it may be 7 years, so they would never be able to go back home once the asylum has been granted. They can go through neighborhooding countries where they family close to where their country is to see their family or friends, but they cannot go back to that country. Sometimes I think it's 7 years or permanent. So it is some men here that are on asylum. So that is not the only way to be in this country. I just want to let everybody know that. And it's not saying all African men on the continent are seeking greener pastures to stay in this country, because a lot of them came here with visas as well. Some came with a visitor's visa and they never left, okay? So therefore they be on places like Plenty of Fish, Bumble, Tinder, all these dating apps looking for women to sponsor them. They may have overstayed their visa, which is illegal. So they may be on those apps on dating sites looking for a woman who they can date and marry and able to change their status to become a permanent resident of this country. So you may see a lot on the dating apps, and they may come into your inbox and they'll tell you, after a while they start dating you, and then quickly the same thing, they bait you. They start giving you gifts, they start giving you money, they start taking you out places, uh you know and they more than likely, if they have money, they're either working in one of their friends name, or they're working under the table. A company may be paying them cash under the table. So therefore they have money to vet you properly. They have money to pay for their immigration documents if you was to marry them and help them change their status. And some of them is going to tell you, straight up that they want their papers. They need their papers to be in this country, so they could be able to go back home and see their family and come back. Because once they leave and they already have an overstay visa, they will not be able to come back to America that easy once they overstay their visa. So they start looking for women online, okay, in the neighborhood, at the clubs, looking for a woman that they can marry, okay? And then after a while, after about 3, 4 months, they start telling you they love you. Some of them will be upfront with you and tell you they need their papers, and just listen out for those key words. Basically, let you know they need you and this is what they want, because some of them do not lie. They will tell you exactly what they want. A lot of them are married, the ones who have visas to come here, because that's one of the things that immigration look for is someone who have documents where they can prove that they have a job in the continent, money. Maybe they have a good job in Africa or the continent. They have a wife. They are stable. So most of the guys who are stable in the continent, who already have the basic things: a wife, a family, a job, those things, money in the bank, they are easy. They are to be the first ones to get a visa to come here because immigration, before they give them a visa, look at it as they are going to come back to their family. Some men from the continent, they even bring their wife here with them, their wife and their children, to the U.S. on visas, and they stay. And they all overstay. The wife overstays, the children overstays, the husband overstays. Like everyone overstays on that visa. Sometimes a wife can be in another part of the state while the husband is in another state. Like, for example, one wife can be in Texas and the husband can be in Maryland, and he could be looking for a wife to marry him for his papers. The wife will say she's the sister if you ever meet her, or you will never know that he even has a wife somewhere waiting to come here. So, and it's not I'm not saying everyone is doing this, but this is one of the things that they do. Sometimes they already come here with a visa, and then they already have a divorce decree already ready because they already know that they plan on staying. So they come with a divorce documentation, and they may not be divorced. They may have paid someone in their country to obtain a fake divorce decree, and then they still really married. So, and some women don't even know that. They just think, okay, this guy is divorced. I saw the divorce papers, but it is not easy to get married, divorced in Africa, and sometimes they still married traditionally to their wife. Okay, so we have to be diligent and kind of knowing uh, what we're getting into. We should know how to vet and how to let a man vet and date us, so that once they get here and they're online looking for a woman or wife, they look at some time for a woman to change their status because they overstayed. So a lot of women, they'll feel like, oh, I met my husband here, I met him in this country. You feel like that you're safe. You feel like it because he's here that you may not been used to obtain citizenship or a 10-year green card. And that's not always true. That's a misconception, and a lot of women think that you're safe, and I'm not saying all, like it is some men that's here who have no intentions of going back home and staying in the continent or even have a wife there. Some of them will come here, they don't have any wife and no children. In some cases, some of them do go back after a few years of being here once they get their citizenship or their 10-year green card, and they may go home and get married to someone and pay that bride price to someone's daughter. Okay, we're gonna get into bride price and how bride price and traditional marriage comes about in a marriage when you're married to a man from the continent. So don't think, oh, if my man has a divorce paper, he's really divorced. Okay, make no mistake that that's not always true. And so you have to understand that when you're being baited and when you're going to be hooked and baited into being used for greener pastures, no matter if they are online in a continent, contacting you via Facebook or via WhatsApp or whatever those devices, Instagram, or if they're here on dating sites, Bumble, Tinder, POF. They're on there. They looking for women to help them change their status, and we have to know these things so we can have due diligence to if we're going to marry people. Like if you want to marry someone from the continent, these videos is to help women navigate through marriage, or if you're going to marry, or things to look out for. All right, this video has no intention of saying all African men are doing this. Okay, or all African women are doing this from the continent. But this is give y'all some key ideas if you're being baited and used just for greener pasture to stay here in America. All right. And some women also think that if a man is in Qatar or other places there, they on a visa there. That is not there. That's not